Hello, my name is Donna the Diva. Thank you so much for stopping by. For those of you who are fairly new to my channel, I would like to give you all a warm welcome. I would like to get to know you guys through the comment section. So briefly just comment, say hello, reply to this video, share your opinion, and let's just get to know each other. So today I wanted to talk about just one particular subject, as far as there's a lot of things that people do not typically talk about as far as being parent, but I'm just talking about this one particular subject as far as going back to work and working being parents. Now to do a little rewind, I recently moved to a new city. It's just been me and my husband here, and we also have a friend of ours who's here as well, who we consider to be a sister, and her husband. So that's pretty much all we have in this new city. Our mom, our cousin, our sisters, brothers, no one is here. It's just us. So, you know, when we started going through certain situations, I'm like, were we stupid? Why didn't we think? We're moving down here with like 2 little kids. Who did we think was going to help us? Where is our fallback? You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to typically need someone to fall back on when things get rough, and we did not have that. So it's been very difficult. Now being in a new city means a new job. Looking for a job was difficult because I had to find a job that works with my husband's schedule, because he already had a job. And so my job had to work with his schedule so it could work with our kids' school schedule. At this point, it was daycare and VPK for my daughter as well. So it was like, oh my gosh, things was very difficult. Now I got the job. It was a seasonal position, but they was looking to keep certain people. I had to be one of those people, so I was working pretty hard, you know, going forward. Like, when I typically find a job, I work hard, I do what I'm supposed to do. If you are paying me to do a job, I will do what I need to do to get paid. I believe in this saying that say, don't F with my money, I won't F with yours. So I take that, you know, very seriously. I don't like my money being played with. So when I go to work, I do my job, you give me my money. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not lazy, I do what I need to do. So being there, my kids being in daycare, getting calls, you know, Destiny just started daycare for the first time, so I already knew her immune system was going to go crazy with other people's germs. So, you know, they kept calling me to come pick her up because she was throwing up, she was sick. It was just like, oh my gosh, they're not gonna keep me, what's going on? So, you know, that was already scary for me, because I'm like, I'm trying to be a permanent worker there because I actually love this job. And now with everything that's happening, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to get really difficult. So, you know, but in the end, it worked out. They ended up keeping me. But that was scary. Part number one is that you being a parent who just starting work, people are not looking at you like, oh my gosh, this girl is like, she has a family to take care of. Her kids do get sick. Things happen. Family come first. They don't look at it like that. They look at it like, oh my gosh, we can hire somebody else who could do this, do the same thing she's doing. Or we could hire somebody else because she's not reliable, she don't come to work on time, she don't do this, she don't do that. They don't look at the, you know, the outer parts where she don't come to work because of this reason, or she's not showing up on time because of this reason, she's calling out because of that reason. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at stuff like that. They're just going off of, the girl is not doing what she needs to do to make sure she show up on time. She keep calling out, she keep doing this, that's what they look at. It's all business. So that was one of the things that I was worried about, and in the end it worked out. They ended up keeping me as a permanent worker, and as far as me staying there, I was still a little worried, because I would still be like, oh, I have to leave early to pick up my daughter when the school calls or whatever the case. So that was scary. And to fast forward, because I want this video to be too long, to fast forward, so recently my husband and I have been in a little dilemma as far as our daughter. You know, she started elementary school. So when elementary school started, we wanted to put her in this program, the after school program. We signed the paperwork and everything for it, but no one told us that she didn't get in. And I didn't even think she had to get in, because, you know, when we first went to get the application, they was telling us about the after school program. We said we most definitely wanted her to be in it. We didn't think that it was something that was going to get filled or whatever. This is our first time dealing with stuff like that as far as elementary is concerned. Now the elementary school that I've been through, like, this system is completely different. You get what I'm saying? When I went to elementary school, it was not run like this. So we're like dumbfounded, like literally. And so when we went to her orientation, which was 2 days before school start, 3 days actually, I'm counting the weekend, it was 3 days before school start, and there was like, it's been filled. I was like, excuse me? So did she make it in? Like, what's going on? So they ended up telling us last minute that, okay, she's not on there, but we could put her on the waiting list, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, wait a minute, but we signed her up for it. Why didn't we get a call? Why didn't nobody tell us we had to make a payment? Why didn't, like, I don't understand. The payment was $100 a month, which was freaking awesome because we was already paying out of pocket $168 for her to go to VPK. So right now it was just like, oh my gosh, things are not working out. Like, something's going to have to give, you know? So now it was very difficult for us because now come Monday for her to start school, we was like, I had to work, my husband had to work, so I had to literally leave work early to go pick her up. I had to like make up a story, okay? Like, I had to leave early to go pick up my daughter from school because she had no way, nobody to pick her up. And then the first week, that was the dilemma. Either my husband was leaving, I was leaving. The 2 other days it worked out because we was off, I was off, and then the next day he was off. But then the other days I had to ask my friend to pick her up. Mind you, she's 25 minutes away from us, her husband, you know, and that travel, that annoying people, you know, making people go out of their way to do certain things. You know, I do not like bothering people at all. Although she do not see it as a bother and she do love my kids, but I don't like annoying people. That's just me. And I know she's going to be watching this and be like, Donna, girl, bye. But hunty, I know what I'm talking about, okay? So that's just how I feel. Like, I don't like keep telling people, hey, can you? No, like, no, that's just not me. I do believe in people having their own personal time, their own quality time, you know. I do believe in stuff like that. But as far as her constantly going out of her way to come pick up my child from Timbuktu, no, baby. I started to like get really aggravated with that. So that goes with like when you don't have a family, things get really, really hard and it gets really difficult. But because it's like, at least with your family, you could be like, hey cousin, hey friend, hey sister, hey brother, hey mom, hey dad. You know what I'm saying? You're like literally going from, you know, family members to family members. So it's not like you're bothering one person over and over and over again. You get what I'm saying? Go down the circle and when you get back around, you know, it's the same person again, but you're giving someone a break. I don't have that over here, so it was so difficult. So now the following week, my husband ended up we did that for 2 weeks actually, like that's how it was. And then the following week it was like my husband PTO kicked in, so he started using his PTO to, you know, pick up my daughter from school. And so he'll get off of work early and, you know, go pick her up. And then the following week I ended up switching my schedule. Switching my schedule means that, you get what I'm saying, less hours, because now you're telling them, hey, I'm available for such and such time, I'm available for this and this time. So with me, I ended up changing my availability, letting them know that, hey, I'm available to work from 8:30 to 3 because I have to pick up my daughter by 3:15, and that will give me just about around that time I will definitely pick her up on time if I leave around that time. So I told them that, hey, this is the best time that I could leave, you know. And I also told them it's only 3 gaps in between, and I gave them 2 availabilities. And then the second availability was I'm available to work from 5:30 to close. So which both of them is like 6 hours, 6.5 hours, which is nothing per day. Mind you, they're not giving me 40 hours. They don't do full time. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. So now I already knew my availability was going to change. I was working about 37 to 35 hours a week, and it was just like, still not enough, but you know, we're making ends meet. And now things change. Now we're at the point where it's like I get the new schedule and it's 20 hours, and I'm like, what in the world is this? Like, are they serious right now? Are they being petty right now? Is this like really happening? Like, what the hell is this? What am I going to do with 20 hours? How am I going to take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese on the weekend? How am I going to take them out to have fun? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that with 20 hours? You get what I'm saying? And it's already a struggle as it is. We already like in a hole half of the time. So it's like 20 hours, you know, like what's going on? So that's why I'm like, you know what, being a mom is not easy because you got to think about all these things. You have to put your kids first, but at the end, when you put your kids first, right now I'm putting my daughter priority first because we have to pick her up at a certain time, and that would mean I have to sacrifice my daughter not being abandoned in the school, so I have to sacrifice hours at work. Sacrificing hours at work mean, okay, we're short on hours, meaning we might be either short on a bill or short on something. You get what I'm saying? Short on an activity that could have been done with our family, now we had to cut it off. Or you know what I'm saying, like it's like a sacrifice. You're constantly making sacrifices when it comes to your children or your marriage, or you know, whatever, your whole family pretty much. So now it's like we're in this position where it's just like, oh my gosh, something's going to have to give, because right now things are very difficult, things are very hard, and it really put me in a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, if my mom was here, oh my gosh, if my sister was here. And I'm like, did I really make the right decision to make this big move, to come to a new city, with two little children, and where it's just me and my husband? Like, was this really surreal? Like, did I not plan it out correctly? You get what I'm saying? And you start to think about all these things, and you start to be like, oh my gosh, it's very stressful. But in the end, it's things that you have to go through in life, and you have to try to make it work for you. So don't give up when situation arises as far as being a parent. Don't be too stressed out. I mean, it's easier said than done, because I do find myself get a little stressed out and frustrated at times. But in the end, just know that it will all work out. And try not to blame your kids for what you go through, because sometimes you will find that you are very, very stressful, because the Donna D back then was not the Donna D who's in a hole or going through certain things right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, I look at my life back then and I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd I planned it out correctly? You get what I'm saying? Versus saying, had these kids. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's easy to be like, before I had kids, it was this and this and that and that and that. And versus saying that, I could honestly said, before I had kids, had I better planned out myself, better planned myself as far as spending, the things that I was spending, I'm like, was that really necessary? Like, I was literally spending money like I was one of these rappers or singers out there, like buying handbags and all these name brand for what? You get what I'm saying? I think about all that, and I'm like, had I invested, or had I done this, had I done that, I would not be where I'm at right now with my kids. And my dream was, so when I do have a kid, or when I do have kids, I wanted to spoil them, and I'm not even doing that. And it frustrates me sometimes, because I want to just go out and buy stuff for my kids and be like, oh my gosh, let me buy this for my daughter, or let me buy, because that was how I was living. I was like, oh my gosh, this is cute, let me get it. It was to the point where I was not even trying on clothes at the store. I knew I wore medium was it, let's get it. I don't have time. Like, I'm not one of the person who goes to a store and want to try everything on. Like, that was never me. I go to a store, I see what I like, I buy it, that's it, you know. But now looking back, I'm like, had I not had that mentality, things would have been a lot different, because I would have been, you know, in a better position. I would have been prepared for kids. I would have been prepared for everything that, you know, have taken place. But in the end, those are some things that people do not talk about as far as being parents. And just think about these things. You get what I'm saying? And another thing is, as parents, think about your future. Even when you're not a parent, if you know you are in a sexual relationship with an individual, know that kids can happen at any given time. Condoms are not 100% safe. You know, all these things are not 100%. So put yourself in a position where, you know what, let me invest for my future. And that future might just be your kids. So yeah, that's just one of the things that people don't typically talk about, and I just wanted to discuss it today because it was actually something that I was going through. But we will get through it all. It will get better, and we're not giving up. You get what I'm saying? So I wish you guys the best in whatever you are going through. So as parents, even those of you who are not parents, just better plan for your future and yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. Therefore, with you investing in your future and yourself, you are investing in the future of your family. So I wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much for stopping by again, and I wish to see you guys on my next video. Briefly comment down below, let me know like what was it like starting school, like as far as you're starting elementary school with your kids. Like what was the dilemma? Was there any dilemma? Like did y'all go through anything? Comment down below and let me know if it was easy for y'all, hard for y'all, because I mean my hard for me was me not fully ready to bring her to elementary school, and when that situation arose, that was the last thing on my mind at that point. It was like, oh my gosh, who's gonna pick her up? What are we gonna do? You get what I'm saying? That took away from the whole experience. So let me know what you guys think, and again, I'll see you on my next video. Until next time, bye.